Welcome to Real Recaps. Today, we'll look at a 2014 psychological horror film titled The Babadook. At the beginning of the film, a couple is driving to the hospital for the birth of their child. The car crashes and the man Oscar is killed. The woman Amelia wakes up, having had a nightmare. Just then she sees her 6-year-old son named Samuel standing near her, who was scared because of a nightmare. She checks in with him in his room where they don't see anyone. Then she reads him a story and puts him to sleep. The next day when Amelia is working in the hospital, she gets a call from Sam's school. The teacher tells her that Sam has made an arrow gun in the school, so they are going to keep him apart from other kids because they feel Samuel is behaving strangely compared to the rest of the children, and they do not want Samuel to harm any child. Amelia is forced to take him out of school. On the way back, they stop at a mall to pick up some stuff. Here we learn that when Samuel's father Oscar was taking Amelia to the hospital when she was in labor, they met with an accident in which he died. At night, Samuel brings out a storybook that he found called Mr. Babadook. Amelia reads it to him. The Babadook is a creature that appears friendly and has a funny disguise. However, the story gets more and more spooky as it said that once someone is made aware of the Babadook, the creature haunts its victim. The book contains images of the Babadook as a being with a top hat, long claws, and a freaky smile as he tells his victim, "Let me in." Samuel is horrified and wails in Amelia's arms as she tries to read a different story to calm him down. Then she puts that book on top of the wardrobe so that Samuel cannot reach that book. Samuel is scared one night when he claims to have seen the Babadook in his room. He becomes convinced that the creature is in his home. Amelia explains to him that the Babadook is just a book, so the monster cannot harm him. Hearing this, Samuel promises his mother that he will always protect her. The next day when Amelia leaves for a job, she drops Samuel at her sister Claire's home. But when she goes to pick him up, she finds an angry Claire cradling Ruby after Samuel scared her with his Babadook talk. Amelia tries to convince him that the Babadook is not real, but Samuel gets angry and bursts a firecracker in front of her. Amelia asks him where he got the firecrackers from, and he tells her he ordered them online. Amelia tells him that if the Babadook was real, they would have seen it, to which Samuel says that he first scares people and then he appears to them and eats them from inside. In the next scene, we see that Samuel has set up a trap in the basement so that he can save his mother from the Babadook. While having dinner, pieces of glass appear in Amelia's food, which are not in Samuel's food. She thinks this is Samuel's prank, but Samuel denies it and says that it is done by the Babadook. After some time, when Samuel is in his room, he realizes that someone is in his closet. He takes his weapon and gets ready to face it, but then Amelia hears his scream. She runs to his room and sees that he is scared and hiding under the bed. She takes him out and Samuel is constantly shouting not to let him in. Amelia gets very upset by this and tears the book of the Babadook and dumps it in the bin. A couple days later, Amelia takes Samuel to Ruby's birthday party. Amelia tries to sit and talk with Claire and her friends, but she is tired from a lack of sleep and also annoyed by the ladies and what they talk about. Meanwhile, Samuel is in Ruby's treehouse, which the girl disapproves of. She taunts Samuel about his fear over the Babadook and not having a father. He gets mad and pushes her out of the treehouse, breaking her nose. Claire grabs her daughter and yells at Amelia. On the way home, Samuel starts screaming and yelling about the Babadook until he has a seizure. Seeing this, Amelia gets scared and takes him to the hospital. The doctor tells her that thinking too much about certain things has taken a toll on his mind. He advises her to consult a psychologist, who can help her by talking to Samuel. Amelia asks the doctor if he could first give her some medicine to put him to sleep until she gets an appointment. The doctor writes some prescription and tells her that it will keep his mind calm for a while, but its regular use can be dangerous. A day later, a knock is heard at the door. Amelia answers and no one is there. Then there is a pounding at the door. On the steps is the book of the Babadook. Amelia opens it to find the pages restored but with new messages and images that are twice as horrifying as before. It implies that the more Amelia denies the existence of the Babadook, the stronger it gets. It then shows pop-up images of Amelia breaking her dog Percy's neck, strangling Samuel, and then slitting her throat. She gets scared seeing this and burns the book on the grill. Then the phone rings and a croaky voice answers. Amelia then finds roaches in her kitchen coming from a hole in the wall behind the fridge. Then, 2 inspectors arrive to check on the state of Amelia's home and how Samuel is doing. Samuel complains that he feels sick from the drugs that his mother gave him, which Amelia quickly says is his medicine. She mentions the roach infestation, but when she goes to show the inspectors, the hole in the wall seems to have disappeared. At night, while trying to sleep, Amelia hears thumping in the hall and a scratching at the door. She opens the door and sees Percy run in. Then the sound happens again, and the door opens by itself. Amelia looks up and hears a scattering noise. The Babadook slithers up to the ceiling and briefly reveals its terrifying face before coming close to Amelia. She grabs Samuel and goes downstairs. She watches TV while he sleeps, and she still sees the Babadook on screen. Amelia also sees Samuel looking bloodied. She gasps and goes to him, then sees a knife in her hand. She returns it to the kitchen, and then sees a news report on a woman who stabbed and murdered her son on his birthday. Due to a lack of sleep, Amelia thinks these images are in her head. Her behavior toward Samuel also borders on abusive. When he complains about being hungry, she tells him to eat shit. Now ashamed of herself, she apologizes to him and treats him to breakfast in a restaurant. On the drive home, they hear a thumping on the car roof and the croaking sound before Amelia accidentally hits another car and then flees the scene. At home, when Samuel sees that Amelia's condition is getting worse, he tells her to call Claire, but Amelia refuses. Now that night when Amelia is trying to sleep, she realizes that someone is there. When she goes out to check, she finds Samuel in the kitchen trying to call their neighbor named Gracie. Amelia snatches the phone from him and tells Gracie that everything is fine. Then after disconnecting the phone, she cuts off the line so that Samuel cannot call anyone again. Samuel tries to convince her that all this is being done by Babadook, but Amelia does not listen to him and leaves from there waving the same knife aggressively at Samuel without realizing it. After some time, when she gives medicine to Samuel, he refuses to take it, but when she forces him, Samuel pretends to eat the medicine. After this, she hears some voices and goes to the basement where she sees Oscar. Amelia is overjoyed to see him, but Oscar tells her that if she wants to be with him forever, she will have to bring her child to him. Now listening to this, Amelia understands that he is not Oscar but the Babadook. She hides in a room fearing him, but the Babadook reaches there too and attacks her. After this, when she is watching TV, their dog starts barking at her. This enrages her and she chases after the dog into the kitchen where she breaks its neck. She then starts pounding at Samuel's door while yelling in a demonic voice, "Let me in," but Samuel understands that she is not his mother but the Babadook, so he does not open the door. But then Amelia breaks in and tells Samuel that she always wished it would have been better for her if he had died instead of her husband. Hearing this, Samuel shouts that she is not his mother. Then as she rises to attack him, Samuel bursts a firecracker and flees. Just then their neighbor comes to the door, but Amelia says that all is well in their house. Seeing Amelia talking well, Samuel feels that she is fine now. When he goes to her, Amelia tells him that she wants him to meet her dad, and since she can only introduce him to the Babadook, she has to accept him. Hearing this, Samuel attacks Amelia's leg with a knife and runs into the basement. Amelia also follows him there, where she falls into a trap set up by Samuel. Samuel attacks her and knocks her unconscious. After some time, when Amelia regains consciousness, she finds herself tied up. Samuel tells her that even though she doesn't love him, he loves her dearly. He says that he knows that it is her who has called forth the Babadook, so only she can get him out of her. Amelia then frees her hands and strangles Samuel, but when she realizes this, she pushes Samuel away from her and tries to get the Babadook out of her, causing her to regurgitate an inky black substance, which seemingly expels the Babadook. The two were going upstairs, when the creature pulls Sam upstairs into the room and Amelia runs after him. She sees Oscar again in the room, saying the exact same things he said right before he died. The top half of his head then falls off. The Babadook starts to pull Sam towards it again, but Amelia holds him back. Its shadowy form then starts appearing, with wings protruding from itself. Amelia holds her son and threatens the Babadook that she'll kill it if it touches her son. The Babadook falls to the floor with its clothes lying there. Amelia approaches it, and it rises up in a blinding white light while letting out a blood-curdling scream. It retreats to the cellar and locks the door behind it. Days later, the inspectors return to find that things seem normal. Amelia put up decorations for Samuel's birthday, which she admits to the inspectors that she hasn't celebrated on the exact day since her husband died. After the inspectors leave, Amelia and Samuel are outside eating. Amelia then takes a bowl of dirt and worms and brings it to the basement. The Babadook now lives in the basement, powerless and unable to torment Amelia anymore. It pulls the bowl of worms into the shadows. Amelia returns outside and lovingly holds Samuel in her arms. Subscribe to watch more videos like this, turn on notifications, and leave a like to help the channel out. Thank you for watching.